Before we get started with today's show, I just want to remind you that you can save 10% on your order with Symphony of Balloons, a luxury balloon company that also offers a 360 camera. Just simply mention you heard about them on Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings with Uncomfortable Conversations. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. The show, of course, is brought to you by ForYourWear.com, where you can get merchandise. You can get a Breaking Through Glass Ceilings t-shirt or hoodie. And I'm going to talk to Blue about some tumblers. And he's offering tumblers. I'm going to talk to him about tumblers, but make sure you dial in. You want to support this podcast. So the last time I was here, I talked about the Cheesecake Factory. I will get to that later, but one of the things that I heard today, I was on Twitter and I saw this video. So I'm going to play the video. And if you looked at the title, obviously know what I'm talking about. And then we'll get into it.
There's something interesting online, Jay. I'd love to hear what you think about this. If you had a choice between getting paid $500,000 in cash or lunch with Jay-Z, which would you choose?
You gotta take the money. What I'm gonna say? Yeah, I mean everything that I'm gonna say.
No, only because people say, of course you take lunch with Jay-Z because the wisdom that you would get from him would be so beneficial to you. There would only be a matter. You would take the money.
Yeah, because you got all that in the music for $10.99. That's a bad deal. I wouldn't tell you to cut a bad deal. Like
I don't
take
know.
the $500,000, go buy some albums and listen to the albums. It's all there. If you piece it together and really listen to the music for the words for what it is, it's all there. Everything that I said was gonna happen. Everything that I said I wanted to do, I've done. And there's the blueprint. The blueprint literally to me and my life.
So I thought that was interesting. What drew me to this video was the fact that I saw a tweet basically said, Jay-Z said, y'all dumb. I was like, you see Jay-Z and Gayle King, you know that this is going to be something solid, right? You know that this is going to be a must see. Now, I do see that the interview does not air until Thursday and Friday. So I'm very excited. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I remember when this trended and there was some people that said they would have dinner with Jay-Z because the wealth of knowledge you can get would help you make millions. Then I saw people say Jay would probably say you crazy and take the $500,000 because if you have the money, you can do whatever and put yourself in a situation where you could have dinner with Jay-Z. He didn't go as far as to say that. But he basically said, like, take the money. It's a bad business deal not to. And I thought this was very interesting to see, especially you really see like how many people like love Jay-Z to the point they would have taken the dinner. Look, I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, enjoy his music, respect the hustle, respect the grind. I'm definitely taking the money. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm taking the money. I think that, with $500,000, there's so much you can do. And I don't see myself spending that just like that. Even if I bought a house, I'm not buying a $500,000 house. That's a bad deal. But I would definitely, invest it and do what I need to do. But it was just so interesting to see this come up. And I believe this question has actually been going on for a couple of years. So shout out to Gayle Kim for even bringing this forefront because we could actually hear from Jay-Z himself. And he said the answers are in the albums. He said $10.99. The answers are right there. Take the money and buy all the albums. If you look from, the first album, Reasonable Doubt, all the way to his last, he's giving game. He's giving a lot of knowledge. He's telling you his life story. And I do think if you pay close attention, it can definitely help you. It can definitely help you get to that point. Not going to say you're going to make $500,000. But, maybe if you apply some of that principles to your current life and hustle and do not allow yourself to be denied, then this can help you get to that point. But overall, I'm glad that Jay-Z talked about this. I'm glad that Gail Kim brought this up because now we finally got a conclusion. I don't think we even have to have this conversation anymore. If the man himself said, take the money, I think you take the money. But y'all let me know, is there anybody out there who would still take the dinner with Jay-Z? $500,000. It's a lot of money to pass up. I don't see anybody on this earth that I would spend time with them over taking $500,000. Give me $500,000. Like the people who are close to me, I don't have to spend $500,000. So if I get to $500,000, guess what? The people who are close to me, we're going to have dinner together. It's just that simple. And we won't spend $500K at dinner. The last time I was here, we talked about the Cheesecake Factory. There was a lady on TikTok. Well, the video on TikTok, because it wasn't a lady who posted it, but there was a video on TikTok where this lady refused to go on a date. She refused to go on a date because she said she looked too good to go in the Cheesecake Factory. Now, I was listening to the homies Chuck and Bear over at the podcast, Kind of Banging podcast. And, shout out to at Charlie Cham. He and I went to high school together and played basketball together in rec league. I was listening to that podcast and I like to listen to it a lot of times just to, get up to date with the trending topics, right? And one of the things he said was, people out here, these aren't real people. They fake creating content. He talked about it was an oyster video that was out there. Lady ate so many oysters, I believe. I didn't get a chance to even talk about that or even look at it, to be honest with you. But the Cheesecake Factory video caught my attention, hence I did a show about it. And I'm listening, and I'm like, whoa, he's got a point. I've thought this too, but I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, some of these people are just making up stuff just to have content, just to go viral on TikTok. Sure enough, it was proven this lady was worked with an actor and they, created conversations. At the end of the day, I saw a video beforehand and by Chrissy. That's the title of the YouTube channel, Chrissy's Way. And she was not happy. She felt that the video really, it really, hurt the perception of Black women. And it really hurt, it was a way of Black women demasculating Black men. I'm not sure I'm going to go that far. I think because of the reactions that I saw on my timeline, if I'm going to be honest, and the reason why I don't feel it hurt Black women. I think because I don't remember seeing not one Black woman or a woman of a different race agree with this actress. If anything, it forced the conversations. Now, TikTok, I'm pretty sure loved it. That's content. Well, they also probably kicked out money, but the people got paid, I'm sure. I know the Cheesecake Factory loved it. At the end of the day, I tweeted how many people was going to the Cheesecake Factory. So I think that part was funny. Their stock definitely went up because we talked about the Cheesecake Factory more, probably the most on Twitter in the past, or X, in the past 5 years or 2 years. Not saying it's irrelevant. It's just not the hottest place that people talk about anymore. So overall, they winning. And like I said, it did, force some uncomfortable conversations. We had women talk about their standards. They, a lot of people was going at that lady's neck saying she was crazy, entitled, wasn't even all that, the whole nine. Now, this lady, Nakia Lowry, is, the public information out there. she is a mental health specialist. So, I believe psychiatrist, but I know she works in the mental health field, and I believe she's a counselor. So, she's not mad at what they did. So I'm like, this is very interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Today's NBA Jersey Day. I should have thrown a jersey. But yeah, it's very interesting to say the least. I'm interested to know, how do you feel knowing that this video is fake? Does it make you disgusted? This is like, okay, here we go again. Are you less likely to trust these videos you see on social media? At the end of the day, the way I see it is, one, is content, and it just creates conversations. We go out there, we talk about different things, and it just helps create conversations. I don't think it's a bad ordeal. I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's very interesting that they went through everything, hired a production crew, some actors, just for TikTok. And this seems like the way we're going. We're making skits, and, that's nothing new. But it was funny. I did say, like, well, I thought it was disrespectful with the camera. And it makes you wonder, like, well, would anybody really let somebody hold the camera to their face while they're going on a first date? So, but yeah, just, I wanted to hop on here real quick this week. I'll probably be back later in the week with some trending topics, maybe some more gems once that Jay-Z interview drops. But, like I said, take the money. Don't be upset at, take your lady to the Cheesecake Factory if that's what she's into. They have a plethora of options. So take your lady or your gentleman to the Cheesecake Factory. That's all I'm going to say. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this edition of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. As always, thank you for your support. Until the next time, folks, remember, do not let anyone put up a ceiling that you can't break through. So long, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support this podcast by wearing a t-shirt, whether it's the one that says Breaking Through Glass Ceilings or the one that says No Ceilings Above Success, simply go to foryourwear.com. Also, you can support some of your other favorite podcasts and content creators, including Those Wrestling Girls, Seahawk, and the Wrestling Club. And you can support some of your favorite independent wrestlers, including Jay Bougie, Trisha Dora, Chaz the Don. Shoot, all the Pure Ignorance is on there. So go on foryourwear.com, go under personalities, you'll find Brian H. Waters, and buy a t-shirt. And remember, I'll give you a shout out on the show. Podcasters and gamers, we all know it can be intense. We're talking, we're getting hype, we're passionate. Sometimes we need a boost. Well, you can get that by getting Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is the #1 supplement for podcasters and gamers, and they have tons of different flavors, including Strawberry Burst, Tropical Breeze, and Cotton Candy. And you can save 10% by putting in the code Brian H at checkout. So go to rogueenergy.com and enter the code Brian H to save money.